How's it going, guys? It's Red, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a super powerful DPS setup that you guys can be using right now in Back 4 Blood just after the February update. Now, with this setup, you guys should be able to easily get through Recruit and Veteran, and this build can even be taken into Nightmare. But before we get into that, if you're new here to the channel, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more awesome Back 4 Blood content just like this. Also, make sure to check out the link to my Discord server. It's going to be down in the description below. You guys can use it to find teammates to play Back 4 Blood with, so if you guys are in some dire need to teammates, make sure to come check out the Discord server. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so here we are in the deck building menu in Back 4 Blood. This is going to be the complete deck list, so if you guys are just looking to copy and paste the deck, now is your time to do so. But for the remainder of this video, I'm just going to be talking about why every card is where it is, and just what every card does for the deck, and just everything like that. Now, for the objective of this deck, we are a 2-1 and 1-none deck, which means we are going to be holding 2 primary weapons, which means we are going to be having twice the amount of firepower as pretty much anyone else on our team. And mixed in with the fact that we don't even have to reload our guns anymore, we just have to stow them and then shoot another primary, means we are easily going to be one of, if not the highest DPS unit on our team, absolutely hands down, and that's what we want to be doing. We essentially never want to stop shooting, and I mean, we are just going to be putting out so much damage. Now, for the number 1 and 2 spots, I mean, we obviously have 2-1 and 1-none, and admin reload. I just kind of told you what they did and just why, you know, we're building our deck completely around them. And I mean, you kind of have to make them your 1 and 2 spot if you're going to build your deck completely around them, because I mean, for those of you that don't know, the order that you put your cards in the deck is the order that you're going to see them in the campaign. So I mean, order actually really matters a lot. So you want to put your most important cards in the 1 and 2 slot. In the number 3 spot, we have Money Grubbers, which says each time our team loots copper, we gain 3 additional copper, stacking up to 75 additional copper. Now, with the big February update, one of the copper cards actually got a lot better, and that is going to be Compound, where is it? Compound Interest, this one right here. Now, this card used to say that whoever was holding the card would get 10% of their gold given to them in each safe room, but that card has since been completely changed and now completely just does everything for the entire team, and it gives everyone 5% of their total copper in each safe room. Now, even with this card being worked on, you know, and getting significantly better in my opinion, Money Grubbers is still just hands down, even though it's been nerfed before, this is still just by far and away the best copper card in the game, and this card is going to solely get rid of all of your economical financial problems within Back 4 Blood. And this proves even more true if you get more than one person to use Money Grubbers. Like, personally, if you're running like a 4-man group, I think everyone should be running Money Grubbers, and that's just going to make it so you can buy like everything. Also, something of note that I just kind of forgot to go over with admin reload when I was talking about it, this card actually used to have a downside. I'm fairly certain that this card used to make our reload speed slower, which is kind of stupid when you think about it because we're never going to be reloading again, but this card no longer has a downside thanks to the February update, which it doesn't really apply to this deck that much, but it is just something nice to know. Now, number 4 is going to be Cold Brew Coffee, which gives us plus 15% reload speed, plus 25% aim speed, 25% weapon swap speed, and use speed. Now, I get it, the reload speed isn't particularly helpful in this deck because we have admin reload on, but think about just everything else that this card is giving you. It is giving you plus 1/4 your aim speed, weapon swap speed, and use speed for absolutely no downsides. And I think the 2 big things that are coming from this is aim speed and use speed. Now, use speed is super helpful. Basically anything that you're doing with a progress bar, use speed is going to play into making that go faster, such as opening chests for things like weapons and ammo, picking up teammates, everything like that that uses a progress bar. Use speed is going to make just go that much quicker. And the aim speed is also really nice in this deck because, I mean, not every gun in the game really has that quick of an ADS, and with a deck like 2-1 and 1-none, we are going to be using a lot of different variations of a lot of different primary weapons. And playing cards like Cold Brew Coffee that are just a good catch-all, and they're just going to make every gun that I pick up better absolutely no matter what. That is just where I want to be, and I want as many cards like this in my deck as humanly possible. Now, number 4 is going to be Hyper Focused, which gives us plus 50% weak spot damage with minus 40% move speed while shooting or melee attacking as the downside. Now, ever since this card kind of got nerfed with the last big update, you know, making our move speed go down by 40% while we're shooting, I've kind of been an advocate for just people to not use this card, but I feel like with this 2-1 and 1-none deck specifically, I feel like you want to play Hyper Focused over something like Reckless Strategy. Now, lately, ever since the last update, I've kind of been recommending people use Reckless Strategy over Hyper Focus just because I think this weak spot is a little too much, especially in melee decks now. I think Reckless Strategy is just infinitely better in every way, but I feel like in this deck specifically, we're not particularly trying to go fast. We're not trying to focus on things like move speed and stamina, so I feel like just becoming a snail while we're shooting isn't exactly that bad, and I feel like the ceiling with this card is just so much higher in a 2 is 1 and 1 is none deck because we have 2 primary weapons, which means we are going to be absolutely just bullying any special infected that we come across as long as we hit them in their weak spots. Like, we are just going to be lasering them down no matter what, and that's why Hyper Focus is at the number 5 spot. This is our first damage card of the deck, and this is just, I just wanted to get the most value that I could out of a singular card just for damage, and Hyper Focus, and in my opinion, does one of, if not the most damages on just one card. Even though it's got kind of a bad downside, I still think it's worth it in this deck. Now, number 6 is going to be Front Sight Focused, which gives us plus 20% accuracy, 10% weak spot damage, and 15% aim speed. Now, this is also one of the cards that got a huge rework with the new update. This card used to just give us plus 20% accuracy, and that was it. This card actually used to be just terrible, but now we get plus 10% weak spot damage and 15% aim speed on top for absolutely no downsides. I think that this card personally went from like unplayable to like kind of a staple for most, gun decks. Like, this card's just really, really good now. Like, this card does everything that you want except like give you reload speed, and I mean, if this card also just gave you reload speed, this card would be busted. Like, this card is just like very slightly under like the cold brew coffee and line them up tiers of cards, but this card is very good now. And moving into the number 7 spot, we have Shooting Gloves, which is actually another card that got a ginormous rework because before the update, this card used to just give us 25% weapon swap speed, but now after the update, we also get plus 15% recoil control and plus 15% accuracy, again, for absolutely no downsides. Now, I feel the exact same way about Shooting Gloves as I did about Front Sight Focused, because beforehand, this just gave us 25% weapon swap speed, and this card was pretty much unplayable, except in a deck very specifically like 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And even so, I mean, there was just cards that, like Cold Brew Coffee that were coming out, like just making cards like this obsolete. And I really, really like what Back 4 Blood's doing. They're making all of their worst cards just better. Instead of just adding new cards and making all the old cards obsolete, they're just making all of these cards that weren't really that good just a lot better. But as for like Shooting Gloves itself, this card's just an all-star in this deck specifically. I don't think that it's just going to be a staple in every gun deck like Front Sight Focus is, but in this deck specifically, where our deck is, literally based on just switching our weapon over and over again, this card is going to be an all-star. Now, number 8 is going to be Ammo Mule, which gives us plus 75% ammo capacity and minus 5% move speed as the downside. Now, a lot of the other ammo cards actually got some reworks with the update as well, Ammo Pouch and Ammo Belt, and I actually do think that these cards are a lot more competitive against Ammo Mule than what they were before, because like before the update, this card was just so much better than both these cards combined, like it wasn't even fair. But now with the new update, I mean, Ammo Belt also gives us plus 15% reload speed on top of our ammo capacity, and Ammo Pouch also gives us 2.5 bullet damage, and Ammo Pouch gives us plus 2.5% bullet damage on top of the 25% ammo capacity upside. Now, in this deck specifically, I feel like Ammo Mule is just the best, because I mean, the main thing that makes Ammo Belt attractive is the 15% reload speed, but we literally don't reload in this deck. And I feel like putting Ammo Pouch in this deck was just like a little like not needed, just because like the only thing that makes this card attractive is the 2.5% bullet damage, which is, I mean, it's not that much, you know what I mean? And I feel like we just don't need much more ammo than what Ammo Mule can give us. This card is going to single-handedly solve any ammo problems that you have, and this doesn't only hold more ammo for the guns you like. This lets you hold 75% extra of whatever. So, it's going to make your friends shotguns or your friends snipers. You're going to have just so much ammo to give them that they're also never going to run out of ammo. So this card, in a way, might just solve your team's entire ammo problem. Now, number 9 is going to be Amped Up, which is another card that got work with the new February update. And now this card says, when a Horde is triggered, our team gains 25 temporary health. Now, I actually put Amped Up in place for Padded Suit because I do think that Amped Up is better than Padded Suit, and I do feel like that this card is good enough on its own to be like your one armor card, because in all of my decks, I do always put something similar to Padded Suit, Motorcycle Helmet, something that will always help buffer my life total to make sure I just don't die. You know what I mean? But I feel like with Amped Up, because I mean, in the higher difficulties and just, in general, people just tend to trigger a lot of Hordes. and just getting 25 temporary health, I mean, that's really good just for triggering the Horde. And it's really not that hard just to get out of random Hordes without getting hit once. So, I mean, there's a good chance you trigger a Horde, get your 25 extra health, and then you walk out of that fight without taking any damage, and you get like an extra 15, 20 health. You know what I mean? And you just get to keep looping that over and over again, because this isn't like a once per level, you know what I mean? This is just every time a Horde is triggered. Number 10 is going to be large caliber rounds, which gives us plus 7.5 bullet damage and plus 200% bullet penetration. This card's simply in here just to make our bullets stronger and just to kill stuff faster. It's really just as simple as that. Now, number 11 is going to be Grenade Pouch, which this card also got a rework with the new update, and this card used to only give us plus 1 offensive inventory, but now it also gives us plus 25% swap speed. And in the 2 is 1, 1 is none deck, I mean, this is perfect. We get to hold an extra frag, and our primary game plan just gets that much better. Number 12 is going to be High Vis Sights, which gives us plus 30% aim speed. Now, like I was saying earlier with Cold Brew Coffee, I mean, not all the guns in the game have a super fast ADS, and with 2 is 1, 1 is none, you kind of just go and pick up whatever the best 2 primaries you can find are that don't share an ammo type. And just giving them that extra ADS speed just to make pretty much every gun we're going to use that much better is totally worth it. Now, number 13 is going to be Line 'em Up, which gives us plus 10% effective bullet range, 15% recoil control, and 25% bullet penetration and aim speed. Now, this is just going to make our gun more well-rounded when it comes to, you know, like just doing damage. Now, this card is just going to make us more well-rounded when it comes to fighting in terms of just not dealing more damage. Like, this card's just going to make us more well-rounded in the other things that matter, like making our gun shoot farther, making us shoot straighter, and letting us penetrate through more than one thing. And this also gives us aim speed. Like I said with High Vis Sights, I mean, just making every gun aim faster is just really good. Number 14 is going to be Silver Bullets, which gives us plus 7.5 bullet damage and plus 15% effective bullet range. Now, unfortunately, with the February update, this card actually got a bit of a nerf, and that's why it's all the way down here, because this card used to give us plus 10% bullet damage instead of 7.5. But I do feel like this card's still good, but I do think it's taking a huge backseat to a lot of the other damage cards in the game. Like, before the update, I thought large caliber rounds was worse than Silver Bullets, but now it's like completely the other way around. And I do think Hyper Focused specifically is a lot better than large caliber rounds and Silver Bullets in this deck. But just in general, I think large caliber rounds is back to being like the primo good definitive bullet card, you know what I mean? And Padded Suit is going to be the number 15 spot, which gives us plus 10% damage resistance and plus 5 health with minus 20% stamina efficiency as the downside. Now, like I said earlier, we do now have Amped Up, which is going to give us like a lot of, you know, temporary health because people love to just trigger Hordes, but that isn't really going to help out as much when it turns into like a finale situation because, yeah, you're going to, you know, keep triggering Hordes over and over again, but those are just, you know, one really long Horde most of the time, not just Horde after Horde after Horde, you know what I mean? So we're not really going to be gaining as much temp health, and with that being said, you know, a card like Padded Suit is going to be perfect here because it's just going to give us more damage resistance, which is, you know, that's just perma not taking as much damage, you know what I mean? It's not dependent on just a Horde getting called, and it gives us more health. And as for the downside, like I said earlier, we're not trying to be, you know, like a speedster with this deck, and I feel like once you put Hyper Focused in your deck, you can just throw all aspirations of moving quickly out the window, and that was like the main thing that made me want to throw Padded Suit in here, because like we're already super slow, it doesn't matter, we're going to be doing a lot of damage, and I mean, just getting some damage resistance and health essentially for no downside is just, that's really good. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Make sure to leave a comment down below telling me any deck changes that you guys would make, and as always, if you happen to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome Back 4 Blood content just like this. Also, make sure to check out the link to my Discord server. It's going to be down in the description below. You guys can use it to find teammates to play Back 4 Blood with, so if you guys are in some dire need of teammates, make sure to come check out the Discord server. And until next time, it's been Red, and I'll see you guys in the next video.